Here's something you probably never thought of. What if you discovered your whole life was fake? Every friend, every conversation, scripted. Every truth, manufactured. That's what The Truman Show was about. It was a 1998 film that felt like science fiction back then, but looks more like prophecy today. Truman Burbank, played by Jim Carrey, lives in a perfect town, built entirely on lies. And in a way, that's all of us, quietly accepting the version of reality that feels safest. The scary part? We all live in our own version of it. Maybe not with hidden cameras or TV producers, but with comfort, routine, and manipulation disguised as normal life. Because sometimes the easiest way to control people is to keep them comfortable. In The Truman Show, Truman Burbank slowly realizes his perfect little town isn't real. It's a set, a world built for him, but never by him. Everyone smiles too much. The news always sounds positive. Every problem disappears after the commercial break. That's not optimism, that's orchestration. And we've all felt that moment when everything looks fine on the surface, but something in your gut tells you it's being staged. That's the same moment manipulation begins, when illusion feels safer than truth. Watch a political debate, a biased news broadcast, and especially social media. They all use the same formula. Comfort first, control second. Tone down fear just enough. Add a little sarcasm to ridicule dissent. Use polished intonation to sound trustworthy. And just like that, you believe what you hear because it feels right. That's the trap. Truth isn't measured by how comfortable it sounds. It's measured by how consistent it stays under pressure. By the end of this video, you'll see how comfort can quietly become captivity, how our minds mistake safety for truth, and how to communicate with people who are still living inside their own Truman Show. You'll also learn to recognize the subtle ways people or systems control perception through tone, sarcasm, or emotional framing. Human beings are wired for safety. When reality feels painful, our brains protect us with illusion. Psychologists call it cognitive dissonance reduction. We rewrite reality so it stops hurting. That's why a person in denial sounds so confident. They've edited their truth to survive it. And manipulators, whether they're politicians, media voices, or even personal acquaintances, understand that instinct perfectly. They say, everything's fine. We're doing great. Trust me. The tone is calm, the smile is rehearsed, and the intonation is warm. That's not truth. That's sedation. Sedation doesn't wake you up. It just keeps you from realizing you're asleep. Because when people stop questioning, control becomes effortless. Truman stayed in the fake world for 30 years because it was familiar. He didn't need walls. He just needed predictability. That's exactly how manipulation works today. It's not just about fear. It's about giving you just enough satisfaction that you never leave. Biased media does this perfectly. One network gives you outrage. Another gives you reassurance. Each one shaping your truth. So you feel righteous and curious. Sarcasm plays its place too. Oh, sure, you're the one who sees things how they really are. That mocking tone shuts down discussion before it starts. Sarcasm keeps people emotionally numb, wrapped in superiority instead of self-awareness. It's not the words that divide us, it's the tone that dulls our curiosity. And that's how communication breaks down. Not because we can't speak truth, but because we've stopped wanting to. In one of the film's most powerful moments, Truman reaches the edge of his world, literally, and realizes the horizon is just a painted wall. He looks up to the sky and yells, "You never had me in your control." Then he opens the exit door and walks into reality for the first time. That's what it takes to face truth in communication. You have to walk through the wall of comfort and risk being wrong. That's the same courage we talked about in the pain of truth, the willingness to break illusion, even when it hurts. Here's how to do it. Step 1, ask hard questions calmly. Truth seekers don't shout, they observe. When someone speaks with certainty, ask, "What makes you so sure?" Tone matters. Intonation determines whether that sounds like curiosity or challenge. Step 2, accept discomfort as a sign of growth. If what you're hearing or saying feels painful, it's probably real. Truth stretches your perspective. Manipulation massages your ego. Step 3, lead others out gently. If you're the one seeing the illusion, don't mock the people still inside it. Say, "I used to believe that too, but then I learned this." That tone builds bridges, not walls. Here's a real-world example. You've seen this play out everywhere. In the workplace, when a manager sugarcoats dysfunction to keep morale up. In relationships, when one partner avoids confrontation by pretending everything's fine. In the media, when truth is delivered with comforting music and nice images, and just enough sarcasm to make deniers look foolish. Different settings, same strategy. They're all different versions of the same scene. Truman standing in front of the painted sky, believing it's real because it feels safe. The antidote? Curiosity with calm tone. Truth delivered without mockery. Communication rooted in awareness, not performance. Here's the real lesson of the Truman Show. We don't live in cages made of bars. We live in cages made of comfort. The hardest truths to face are the ones that threaten what we depend on. Our beliefs, our identity, our need to be right. And every time you question the comfortable narrative, you take one step closer to freedom. So when the world around you sounds too perfect, too rehearsed, too smooth, listen again. You'll hear it in the tone, in the sarcasm, in the manipulation that hides inside the voice of certainty. And when you do, remember Truman, walk to the edge, touch the wall, and have the courage to step through. If this helped you see truth a little differently, share it with someone who might be stuck seeing the world only from their side. It could open up a conversation that changes everything. In the next episode of this Truth and Perception series, we'll look at sarcasm, the subtle language of hidden truth. It'll show you how humor, tone, and voice can hide deeper emotions, and how understanding that can completely change the way you communicate. In the meantime, check out the first video in this Truth and Perception series. When someone lies to your face, say this. It shows you the exact phrase that disarms manipulation calmly and confidently. The perfect foundation for everything we've talked about today. Thanks for watching, and remember, truth doesn't divide people. Ego does. I'll see you in the next one.